Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our live webinar of eIMMIGRATION. Happy Friday. On behalf of Cerenade, I want to thank you for joining us. My name is Vanessa Vargas, and today's topic is about the administrative portal. We're going to show you some settings and customization. Hi, good afternoon for you. Happy Friday. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So we have number one, this is being recorded. We have a YouTube channel where we keep all these videos. So if for any reason you get interrupted or you have to disconnect, know that we are recording today's session. Two, you can also chat or send your questions throughout the webinar. You can send me your questions so we can help you as much as we can, right? And three, if you click on the handouts, you can download my PowerPoint presentation. It has useful links. In fact, I always recommend that you please download it and share with your team in case they were not able to join today. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to cover what is the admin portal. I'm going to ask how many of you are actually able to access the administrator portal. And I'm going to show you some customizations and settings regarding your actual access, like for the users, and how to customize the processes or matters, how to customize your templates, and how to create or connect mapping, how to map custom fields to your forms and add them to your general info page. Now for billing, you have to be subscribed to this optional module. So I'm going to be showing you how to customize that for the billing items in the admin portal. If you are interested in creating your questionnaires or custom intake forms, I'm going to give you a couple of tricks and shortcuts. Also, if you're not aware of what form defaults is, I'm going to show you that in the document repository. What are the types, creating smart alerts, and the case wizard mandatory fields. And lastly, my favorite module or feature is custom reports, and I'll show you how to schedule them. As well, you have to have access to this module. And under the application settings, we're going to cover a couple of those items. I mean, I can't really tell you what to select or not because each office works differently. We're going to show you how to upload your logo for the system to be branded with your logo. And lastly, how to use the referrals module. Yes, this session is being recorded. Thank you for sending me your questions through the chat. And yes, in fact, let me quickly show you. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Cerenade Academy, and this is where we keep all these videos. And so recently we did a training for new users and also for the calendar. Yep, you can watch the videos here if you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's called Cerenade Academy. All right, so let me get started. I'm going to log in as a case worker, okay? Because once I log in, once I log in, on the top right corner, I see the settings. So I'm going to click on that gear icon and then switch to the administrative portal. My recommendation, instead of clicking with my left button, I'm going to click with the right button of the mouse and open in a new tab. I like to keep the admin portal open side by side. I have the case worker portal open so I can, go back and forth, multitask. You're welcome. All right, so this is the administrative portal. Let's begin. Again, if you have any questions, let me know. There were a lot of questions that you guys submitted, so I'll try to cover those during our Q&A. We're going to have a Q&A session. Okay, so let's begin. What is the admin portal? This is just for customization, all right? So you're not going to create an actual matter here. You're not going to send a questionnaire from here. This is not the case worker. Anyone that you decide can have access to the administrative portal. Under the users, you can customize that. But first, before I cover the users, let's talk about departments. You can create as many departments as needed. These are like maybe your physical locations, or even within the same physical location, you can separate cases or clients by departments. We have clients that have partners and they split cases by departments. And it has happened when they split, then partner number one takes his cases and clients just with a conversion, and we can just copy whatever belongs to that partner. So it's important that you customize the system so that you stay organized in general, right? This is why we're doing this training, because believe it or not, we have clients that never took their training, their actual private training. When you got your site, the person who subscribed, or the signatory, the person who's responsible for you using eIMMIGRATION, they received an email with a link for them to schedule a private training. And we try to give you that training maybe the first 2 weeks, so that you again customize the system, and then it belongs, it's your system. Let me give you an idea. We have clients that are nonprofit organizations that don't really need employment-based cases, but we also have corporations that use our system that don't really need TPS or DACA matters. So it's important that you customize the system, because your team, your staff, will work more comfortably. It doesn't matter if you are a solo practitioner or a large corporation. I believe this is a must, customizing your admin portal, and it's never too late. So I'm glad that you're here. So again, that's departments. Let's talk about users. The users, of course, are the case workers, the staff. But it doesn't really mean that they're going to be using the system. For example, I can have an attorney whose information will transfer to the forms, and I can check the box, transfer to forms or assign automatically to cases. But I'm not going to give him or her access to the system, because we're not going to use it. But I can still create. Sorry, no, I'm not going to create an account. I can still save the profile with the attorney's information, jurisdiction details, the state bar number, phone, email, everything, and it will transfer to the case forms. And also that person can still receive an email reminder, or even a text message reminder if you have SMS, the text messaging module. So if I need the attorney, or let's say a paralegal, a social worker, receptionist, anyone who's going to be using the system, and let's say I have a paralegal who's going to be accessing cases just for these 3 locations, not the rest. And I can customize the access by selecting, okay, the paralegal's information won't transfer to the forms, but I want her to be assigned to clients and receive an email when clients upload their documents, or allow maybe clients to message her or not. So again, the paralegal's information is saved. And if I need the paralegal to log in, then I pay for that license and I create the account. Usually when clients, our customers, need another license, they either call us or email us, and we can charge the credit card on file. And then once we enable it, you can just create the account. Otherwise, if you try to create an account and you have exceeded your allowed number of licenses, you can't. Here's where you would select the paralegal's login and password, and also determine what access should they have. Maybe the paralegal can only access the system Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But after that, they can't log in. Or I can have an intern whose access is going to expire in a couple of months, or years. So you can, like I said, customize the access rights. If you look at the access rights section, this is where you determine who should have access to the administrative portal by allowing it, or you can block it. Okay. Also beware that when you create an account for a caseworker, sometimes they make a mistake and they don't see that they can only access cases that you assign them to. So make sure that if you want them to access all cases, that you switch that to all. Do you want them to create or delete? Although, you know what? We recommend that you don't give them access to delete. Specifically, deleting a client or deleting a case. Trust me, people don't read, and sometimes when let me show you, when they click on the delete button, even though we tell them you're about to delete a case, are you sure? They still click OK. And so obviously if that happens to you by mistake, just call us and we can help you try, retrieve it. But sometimes it's not worth it if you, let's say, just to give you an idea, you deleted that case in the morning, you didn't notice, or the paralegal did it, and then you worked all day. If you want us to go back, you kind of lose whatever's in between. So it's it's hard. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe don't give them access to delete cases or clients. Yep, you can customize the access rights should they have access to billing or reports or not. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Actually, I see someone sent a message. Can we get private training for existing users? I don't remember I did a training before. Yes, check with your sales rep. Just contact us and we can check if you ever got the training, the private training that you were entitled to. And if you never did it, we can definitely honor that, even though it passed the expiration date. Next question says, how to provide login credentials to a new attorney? Great question. So once you create the account for the new attorney, my recommendation is, of course, you have that. And I think our developers were working on a feature where you can just click and it will send them that email, but I'm not sure when that's going to be ready. Right now, what you need to do is make sure that you copy the login name, know what password you created for them, and send them an email. They also need their URL. Okay, so the URL, you can find it here under the settings icon. You see subscription details. Well, this is where you can see the caseworker portal URL. So you just copy the URL, username and password, and send it to the new attorney. My recommendation as well is to give them the link to the YouTube channel, because I don't think it's fair for the attorney or any paralegal to um, get started with a system that they have no training at all. So at least give them the opportunity to watch the basic training for new users and let them know that they can always contact us for support. And this is the reason why we provide the webinars every week. Next question, is there a way to assign cases to paralegals? If so, how do you proceed? Oh, you're welcome. So excuse me. Is there a way to assign cases to paralegals? Yeah, of course, but you can assign them either automatically or on a case-by-case basis. Let me show you. If I want the paralegal to be assigned to cases automatically, then I'll just check the box. Obviously, I'm not going to check the second box because I don't want the paralegal's info to transfer to the forms, but I want the paralegal to be automatically assigned to all cases moving forward. Now, if I want to do it on a case-by-case basis, then the way that you do it is by creating the case and selecting the case workers. So let's say that I have a case for this office and I want a paralegal to be linked to a case, then I'll just type her name or his name and click and add. So that way you can assign a paralegal on a case-by-case basis. And this is a mistake. For example, the paralegal's info shouldn't be transferring to the forms. So instead of me checking the box every single time, let me fix it by going into the users in the admin. Let me search for Benita. I'm going to open her profile and remove that box because she shouldn't be transferring to the forms. Maybe if I want Benita to be assigned to cases moving forward, then I'll just change that box, okay, and save my changes. Great questions. Thank you so much. Let's continue. All right, so we talked about the departments, the users. Let me tell you what I usually say this is the most important in my opinion. And let me tell you why. Case processes. Like I said earlier, what if you don't need employment-based cases? What if you don't handle, like removal defense, or like, what if you simply want to use the system for something besides immigration? We do have clients that use the system for like social services or like personal injury, family law. So it's not just for immigration. And this is where you can customize the matters or processes, the type of cases that you're going to be using. Okay, so let's take a look. The reason why you want to customize it beyond what I just explained, it's also for your staff, because when they're creating a case and they select the location, again, the area of practice, see, this is a drop-down menu that we're talking about, process. So instead of your staff scrolling down to this massive list and finding what they need, well, how about if we customize it so they can just pick and choose from the top 10, top 20 options, okay? All right, so let's say naturalization. Well, I already have it here. Let me search for another one, like an adjustment of status. Okay, so this adjustment of status is on position 17. My recommendation, even though you can drag and drop, is to click on the select, move to, and then pick a new position. I'm going to say number 1. I'm going to move this adjustment of status to number 1, click OK. And now, every time that we create a case, my adjustment of status is going to be all the way up on the list. All right, so that's how you can rearrange them by moving them to a specific location within this list. Also, like I said, you can drag and drop the process. Next is, of course, if you don't need it, let's say this test, I'm not going to need it, I'm going to click select edit, and I'm going to disable. What if I need it in the future so I can enable it again? Or I can just delete. If I try to delete a process and it's linked to a case, it won't let me. Let me try to delete another one. Like this. You cannot delete this case process because there's at least one case which is referencing it. So you would have to look for the cases under that process, change them, and then delete the type. Or simply just modify it. For example, I can click select edit and change the name of it. All right. Or, of course, if you look at the little circles, you can customize the elements. If I look at the naturalization process and I want to customize the forms, I click on the circle that belongs to forms for the naturalization process. I, in fact, changed the name to Ciudadanía so my staff and my clients can also know what this means. And I can customize the forms checklist. I can always add a form by searching just with the number, do not enter the letters. It's easier and faster. If you forget the dash, you won't see it. So just type the numbers, click find, and select the form that you want and click add. Again, you can also drag and drop the forms, the position that you desire. So now that I have the forms checklist that I want, on the right-hand side, I see other elements, which are, for example, what are the steps or the tasks. When we have to do a naturalization case, what is it that we need to do from the consultation until the case is closed? So I can customize the tasks, the timeline, or the workflow, however you want to call it. So my staff understands exactly what they need to do, number 1. Number 2, so that I can run a report to see what's my staff's productivity. And also for my clients, when they ask what's going on with my case, they know exactly what we've done and what's next. For many reasons, trust me, you want your team to receive an email reminder so you don't have to, do it yourself. Let them know kind of like what's their priority. So this is a great tool. I highly recommend if you haven't done it. I know sometimes we're so busy, but this is a long-term benefit. When you hire a new paralegal, this is their cheat sheet. This is exactly what they need because they know exactly what they need to do and how many days it should take them to complete the task. And of course, if you decide to select the option for automatic email notification, the paralegal will receive an email if they haven't completed the task. So like I said, for many reasons, I suggest that you guys customize your own process steps. Okay. Oh, by the way, before I forget, now we can copy a process. So I can say, copy this one or copy this process step and it will duplicate. So this is new, the copy option. Or you can insert a new step within these existing ones. Let me see, it looks like we have a question. Can we make process steps mandatory? You know what? No, they're not required. The process steps, just for the rest of the participants to understand, let me show them a case so that if you're new, you can understand, okay, this is where we're talking about how to customize them. Now I'm going to take you back to the caseworker portal so that you see the actual application of where are these process steps. When you create a case, okay, let's look at one of the existing cases so I can tell you what I'm talking about. All right, let's use that one, the naturalization one. When you create a case, on the right-hand side of the menu, you're going to see process steps. And the process steps are, again, your to-do list or tasks. And they're not really mandatory, but what you can do is maybe kind of like add a start, or and I can definitely pass your feedback to developers so that we can kind of like highlight my recommendation. If you have plan C, I don't know what package you have, but if you have custom reports included, my recommendation would be for you to create a report and receive that on a daily or weekly basis so that you know what steps were missed or which ones are overdue and be on top of them. Because the other alternative would be for you to access your tickler, but that's something that you would have to do manually. So my advice, if I was a solo practitioner, if I was an attorney supervising a team, then besides the tickler, where I can see the process steps, and again you can see what's overdue, you can show the data for all caseworkers. So what I would do is create a custom report and receive that on a daily or weekly basis automatically to my email, maybe as a PDF or Excel, and I can tell what was, for example, these are like the task or process steps that we have to complete in the next 6 to 20 days. Okay, tells me what it needs to be done and the due date or target date. But what if I want to see who's responsible or designated? Or here, we've got 17, more than 1,700 overdue process steps. So I want to know what was the target date, and I can search by a range. So again, it's really up to you. It's taking long to upload because we have some steps that we didn't complete since 2008. Who's going to get fired with this? So let's avoid getting to that level of responsibility. But yeah, I'll pass your feedback to developers to see if there's a way for these to make them kind of like mandatory or required. Um, and then if you can also send your feedback, just so you guys know, on the top right corner of your screen, doesn't matter if it's the admin or the caseworker, you have feedback or technical support, something you like or dislike, please let them know so that our team is aware of your suggestions or feedback. Thank you. All right, let me continue. I'm going back to the admin. I would like to show you another favorite feature, which is templates. A lot of templates that you probably have already with like Outlook or Microsoft Word. Well, instead of you changing the information manually, you can just add them here, copy paste them. Let me give you an idea. What you're going to do is insert our tags, and the tags work. It's a letter merge, so the tags work kind of like what the forms do. They locate. If you're asking for the case number, they'll auto-populate the case number here. Or if you want the social security number to go here, etc. The client's first name. So the way you can find these tags, besides this drop-down menu named tags, my recommendation is that you switch to the other tab and look at the tools. We have one called Tag Helper. So the tag helper allows you to find what you need a lot quicker. Maybe I'm looking for the individual client's last name tag. I can just type last name and it will give me any tag that has last name included. And if I need the attorney's last name or if I need the client's last name, so just click on the icon to copy the clipboard, go back to the other tab where you have your template and paste it here. So I'll just put it here next to the first name and then last name. That's it, copy paste them. And let me show you the application. Let's go back to the caseworker. What are these letter templates for? Well, pretty much for everything. It's not just for cover letters, but it could be an email, a reminder, anything, when you're sending an email to clients for completing questionnaires, instead of sending our default boring email, you can just send your very detailed specific email for your clients. And to show you another example, I am going to the case profile. I'm clicking on documents, and this is where I can see the letter templates that have been assigned or included in this process. And it's a lot easier for me to just edit preview. I can turn them into a PDF, Word, or simply email from here. So let's preview it and look at how the social transfer, the case number, the client's first name, etc. So it's easier for you to just create one document and then let the system populate with those tags. If you are taking notes, write down letter template or tag helper. You can always watch the videos, or better yet, don't forget to download my PowerPoint presentation, because what I did, I put the links for you right here. So just click on the link and it will take you to the user's guide where you can watch the video about how to create letter templates. Okay, let's continue. Okay, so next is custom fields. You know what? The other day I had a new prospect and she asked me in one word, how would you describe e-immigration? And I said flexible. You can customize so much that it becomes your system. And I love the fact that you can create any custom fields and you can even connect them or map them to your forms or to your letter templates, or you can run reports based on that. And so if you think about it, you can use the system as a CRM. For example, when you ask a person, a prospect, is this a person that you hear? How did you hear about us? So you can use the system to ask any questions. What's your EB5 investment amount, etc. So the way you create a custom field, I recommend that you create a client custom field, even though you can create case custom fields. And the reason why I recommend this is because I've learned that you cannot include case custom fields in questionnaires. So what if you want to ask a prospect again, are you a new client, or what's your investment amount? Well, you are not going to be able to do that if you created a case custom field. All right, so with that being said, when you click on add client custom field, obviously what type of client, or it could be both, what's a field, and this is more technical, that's why you can have spaces, but you can do like underscore, or you can just enter all the words together. And the title, of course, of your custom field, it's okay, you can type as normal. What was your last arrival date? And of course the type of field. I'm asking for a date, maybe this will be like, when did you arrive in the US? So then click save, and eventually you're going to have your list of custom fields, and you should organize them by different categories. So if the category is investment, or if it's demographics, or maybe you want to separate them by different matters if necessary. I actually like to keep the categories organized within views. So the view could be immigration, and within immigration, I can have different matters, and based on the matters, of course, the type of custom field. All right, so just to give you an idea, let's switch back to the caseworker, and I'm going to take you to a contact profile. All right, so close this. If I click on custom fields, see, these are the views. If I say immigration fields only, then I separated my immigration fields by categories. These are the permanent resident card related fields, or the TPS, or the DS-160, etc. Now, within your custom fields, maybe you have important ones that you want to keep available under the general info page without having to click on custom fields. So if you want to have your custom fields at the bottom of the list, right here, oops, right here, custom field. See, for example, this one, what's your full name in native alphabet? The DS-160 or the DS-260 has a question, but we don't have that question here. It's not a typical question, but we created that custom field so that we can ask that question in a questionnaire, and my client can respond to the custom field, and I connected that to the form. So when I open the DS-260, it transfers this information. Well, I wanted that question here under the custom field section. How do you do that? Let's go back to the admin, And I can show you. On the right-hand side, I'm still here in the client custom fields, by the way. So click on System Client Custom Fields and click on General Info. This is where you can add or remove a custom field from that section. We can't really make them mandatory, but at least they are now handy or available, under the general info page. Okay, let's go back. How do I connect then my custom field to the actual form? If you go to File, Form Custom Data Population, search for the form. I'm going to add it, DS260. So just type the number, select the form, and it will open the form. What exactly do you want to connect to the form? See, this is my example. My custom field was, what's your full name in native alphabet? And you're going to click on the field and click on the icon on the top right corner. Well, no, it's in the center. Sorry. So click the icon and it's going to, well, let me delete this one so you guys can see. All right, so click on the field, click on the icon, and then search for or connect. Again, it's not the case custom field, it's a client custom field, and it was this one, full name native alphabet. This is why it's important that you label them, well, clearly. Instead of using codes, use something like this so that you know what this custom field is about. So my full name native alphabet custom field, it belongs to the aliens, and I'm going to, or beneficiary. I know that people don't like this word, but it's what it is. So I'm going to click OK, and it will turn red. See, now it's been connected or linked or mapped, however you want to call it. There's no save button, just close the form. And to show you, I'm going to go to Forms, and I'm going to add the DS60. Select, close. Let's take a look. Actually, let me make sure that it's Valeria's information because I think it's, yeah. See how it's kind of like purplish? It's because I have customized my form. So when you customize or map custom fields to your forms, the fields are going to be like grayish or purple. But you see, it's transferring the custom field because I do have data in place. Please let me know if you have any questions. We're going to continue with our presentation, but if you have any questions, let me know. And also make sure that you download the PowerPoint because I put the links right here with the instructions. Next, billing items. How do we customize billing items? Well, let's go back to the admin. And before we click on billing items, right here, I suggest that you customize the type of billing items. What that means is instead of saying this is a professional fee, well, how about saying this is consultation or this is translation or UPS, FedEx, so you can customize the categories. And let's go back. Once you have that list updated, your types of billing items, then go to billing items and customize the items. So for example, I'm going to add one. And you can come up with a code. I like maybe the form or the fee kind of like included or simply just a number. And the type of, this is what I was talking about. You can customize this drop-down menu. So maybe we want to use translations as one of the fees, and we're going to charge for this code 123 translations. And I'm going to select the description, translations, and we charge, I don't know, 100 per page or per hour, I don't know. You can charge a flat fee or change it to hour if it's an hourly rate and select save. So now that we have that fee, if that fee belongs to a specific matter, for example, hey, it's something related to net naturalization service, then my recommendation is to connect your billing items to your process. Under case processes, you'll notice that just the way that we customize a forms checklist, you can also customize your billing items that are, related. So naturalization, I will just click on the dollar symbol, so for billing items, and this is where I can add those items to the process. Moving forward, when we create a naturalization case, then my staff knows exactly how much do we charge for that service. Okay, let me know if you have any questions about that. I'm going to continue, but before I continue, I would like to ask a question. Let me see. Oh, interesting question. All right, let's see how many of you. Someone's raising a hand. Please send me your question via the chat. I'm waiting for the rest of the participants to vote. So far, 80% of you said no. All right, so I'm just going to close with 85. Look at that. So 73% no. Well, sometimes if you have questionnaires that you created in Word that you send to your prospects either via emails or text message, you're not only wasting your time, but their time because they have to type, re-upload, resubmit. It's just, not efficient. So by customizing those questionnaires that you have in Word or PDFs or customizing them into immigration format, then you're going to send them a link via text message or email. Your prospects or clients are going to respond directly and submitting them back to you. And by accepting the questionnaire, the data will save into the system and transfer to the forms. So I highly, highly recommend that you guys take advantage of that. And again, let me see, someone's raising their hand, but I can't. ¿Pudieras mandarme, por favor, tu pregunta por el chat? Es que no puedo quitarte el mute. Someone's asking, or someone wants to ask a question, but they clicked on the hand and I can't. So if they can send me the chat. Perfect. Oh, someone else. Can we send passwordless link of a questionnaire to emails? I feel that it is only available for, no, actually you can send it via email, via text message, and via WhatsApp if you copy that link and paste it anywhere else. So yeah, it's not just for text message, but I'll show you in a moment. Let's first talk about how to customize those questionnaires. First of all, again, go to your admin, click on custom form templates. If you have two monitors, I highly recommend that you use them side by side, just like I do here, because it's a lot easier for you to look at the questionnaire that you have in Word or again PDF, and here you can have your admin. In fact, as you can see, I have one tab for the admin, one for the caseworker. I can add as many tabs as needed. So that way, in case I need to create a custom field, while I am creating my custom questionnaire, I can multitask. Trust me, you might need to do it. Because if you forget to create a custom field, then you'll have to save the questionnaire, go back to the home screen. So trust me, open as many tabs as needed. All right, so once you click on custom form templates, click on intake forms, and even though you can create one from scratch, my recommendation is that you use what we have already. So go to system intake forms and copy them. Just to give you an idea, for example, we have a general info for individual client questionnaire. Now this one, we can preview it. It has all the basic information. What's your name, cell phone, it has a passport number, mailing address, US address, abroad address, like even other names used, any aliases. So what you can do is make a copy of that one and include the rest of them, like these, into one questionnaire. Just to give you an idea, again, I'm going to make a copy of that general info for individual client, but I'm not going to call it general info. I'm just going to call it initial intake form. And I'm going to with all questionnaires, just so I can identify, because I have so many, I'll put my initials and maybe today's date. So what we're going to do is, great, we have these questions, but I really don't need to ask them all these questions. Like, I don't care for their fax number, let me delete it. So on the right hand side, you're gonna start deleting the questions that you don't need. Okay, like major field of study, nah, or degree, I don't need that. All right, so now on the left, I'm going to click on repeated sections and I'm going to add, I don't need another one for other names because I have that one, but I do want to ask for the previous addresses. Although I want to specify that we only need your last 5, let's see if this works, 5 years of history. And I'm going to ask them for their marriage history, employment, you get it. You just click and add. Now for the children, I need my client's children information, but again, for the child, I really don't care for their title. So let's delete. I don't care for their maiden name or preferred name or status. I do want to know gender, date of birth or country of birth. Again, I don't care for their cell phone or evening or fax, preferred contact method. You get the idea. So just delete the ones that you don't need. And yeah, like household size or income. And you can also relabel it. If you click on the pencil, you can just type, I'll just say test, and then save. Another thing that I like is that if I want to ask another question that's not, let me just add another one, like affiliations and arrest. Okay, so, oh, I forgot, but the client's members, so what you can do is either keep it generic, like all the members. It could be what's your joint sponsors information, what's your parents information, or right, or you can just keep it specific, like just clients, children. And under the templates, you can also just ask for the client's father's information. And again, what is it that you want to ask? Well, for the father's information, I don't need to ask everything, but just the basic. Again, where they were born and the dates, and that's it. Maybe the social or like email, phone number, it's really up to you. So keep it super basic by selecting or technically unchecking and checking the ones that you truly want to ask for their parents. Of course, if eventually the parents become your clients, then you send those parents then their specific questionnaire. And lastly, the spouse's information, same thing. I want to select what I need to ask, and what I don't, I'll just uncheck. Okay, now that we have that, if I click on questions and I want to ask my own questions, such as, how did you hear about us? Are you tech savvy, prefer language? All of the other questions that I want to ask a lead or a prospect, then you can just select what type of question that is. Is it the name, a single, multiple choice, a drop-down menu, a yes and no? I'm going to choose the yes and no option, but I don't want this to be all the way at the bottom. See, as when you click on the question, it's going to send it at the bottom. So change that to maybe number 1 or number 3, and then my question is going to be, is this the first time you visit us? If they say yes, my follow-up question will be, great, welcome, and how did you hear about us? If they say, no, this is not the first time that I am visiting you, okay, great, thank you for coming back. Then what's your existing case number? If they have a file number or a case number, right? Okay, let's save my question. Again, I put number 3, which means that if I change the number to number 3, it's right here, number 3. Or you can click and drag and drop wherever you want. Maybe I messed up, it wasn't 3, but it was 4. So I just rearranged that. And step number 2, once I create the questions, then I need to map it. As you learned earlier, mapping is connecting to the system, the actual field. Well, my question is this the first time that you visit us? It's not under the general info or biographic info or mailing address. It is a custom field that I, the client, created, not the system. So select client custom field and search for your field. Is this the first time that you're here? Well, then I'm asking for that person here. Next one is, how did you hear about us? So my custom field was a source of lead. And lastly, if they say, no, this is not the first time that I contact you, well, what's your case number? I'm asking for a case or client number. And this is where you can make them required. So you can select required, and if they don't respond to these 2 questions, they cannot submit their questionnaire. And lastly, you can select translations. And of course, I get an error message. Why? Haha. It's Friday. Okay, well, for some reason it says that I exceeded requests limit. I feel like sending this to when they sent me requests. Sorry for you exceeded your request limit for the day. Well, I will have to close this. Trust me on this. Once you, let's open one that has an existing custom field. Custom intake forms. I'm going to use one that I had, which shows that I have a mapping pending, and it's right here. Client custom field, how do you hear about us? Again, I was linking or mapping to my custom field. And lastly, the translation. This is where you can add a translation. Say, I want this to be available in Portuguese. You need to review the translation, and at the bottom, click submit. Once you do that, you click save, and then save and close. I think the reason why it crashed on me is because I added every single thing, every question, but it shouldn't, it was probably too much for the artificial intelligence. So the translation is done by AI. All right, so let's continue with the next item in our list, which is form default. Please message me if you have any questions about the questionnaires, and also any questions at this point. Okay, so for those who voted NA, I'm thinking it might be something related to customer support, technical support, that you need to contact us. So please do that, and let's continue. All right, so form defaults. This is another great feature. Just keep in mind, because if you forget, the other day a lady called and said the NA keeps popping up. Well, that's because she customized a form default. So when you go to the admin and click on form defaults, you're gonna add the form that you wanna customize. For example, I'm gonna use the N400. I'm gonna find, just by searching with the numbers, select the form and open it. Okay, so what I want with this form defaults is that moving forward, every time that I open an N400, it has all these questions with the no by default, right? So I don't have to click on that no option every single time. And I can definitely override, if applicable, by changing that answer. So you just change it to yes. if applicable. And that's it. Just save it, whatever. And it's not just the rated buttons, but you can type information, and whatever you type will populate by default. Just keep that in mind. And as well as what else I want to show you, if USCIS has a new version of the form, make sure that you come back to the form defaults and update based on the new version. Okay, we're not responsible to update or transfer your selections to the new version of the forms. Document repository. Here it is. So any document that you want to save, such as a contract or a cover letter, PDF, Word document specifically, you can upload it here so that your team can access that. For example, you're not in the office, you don't have access to your folders, but you have saved that in your document repository. It is kind of like the cloud within the cloud. Think of it like a Google Drive or Dropbox within eIMMIGRATION. So when you are working, let's say, with this client, and I go to her documents, I can search for a document and pick location for the file, and I'll say import from my document repository. So any documents that I left there available, I can search for them here. So I can just find or sort by and then select. Okay, so that is a document repository. And also note that you can add the tags into those documents and utilize the document assembly so that the tags can auto-populate. I'm referring to this one, document assembly. Okay. All right. Next is let's go back to the admin. All right. So in the admin, you're going to see a section called types. Basically, any drop-down menu that you see pretty much across the system. Not everyone, but not every drop-down menu. But like, for example, the type of reminders. When creating a reminder, it's going to ask you what type of reminder this is. Case reminder types could be it's time for renewal, or even in Spanish, pedir al cliente sus documentos. Like, I want to be that specific instead of saying, oh, I have a task. Trust me, the more you customize it, the better. Because when you get that email reminder that says, or text reminder that says you need the court hearing prep appointment with client, then you know exactly what that is and you can prioritize. So make sure that you customize your types of not just reminders, but also type of notes, type of appointments or calendar items, type of items as we talked about earlier, right? If you are a nonprofit organization, this is where you can also customize a type of grants and track those grants by selecting that when creating a case. Type of documents that you want to track, not just immigration related, but any other document that you want to track for like an expiration date. So this is where you can customize the drop-down menu. Where is the actual folder? It's in room 3, cabinet A. So you can customize the physical document location options. Why did you close the case or archive it? Well, the client did not respond, lack of payment, case was approved or denied. So you want to kind of list reasons why a case can be closed or archived, and your staff can choose that when they close a case or archive it. Next, you can set up reminders, not reminders, but these are like more alerts or pop-up windows. For example, at the client level, I would like the system to remind me or alert me when there are overdue invoices. So you just add the alert, select warning or info, success, and then it could be a basic one where you just enter the notification or the alert, and that's it. Or it could be an advanced alert. For example, if this client or any client has an adverse party, please let me know. Have like a pop-up alert or any conflict of interest, right? So let's see what that means. I'm the receptionist. I have no idea whatsoever what's going on with the billing module, but I opened the account because this person wants to book an appointment. Well, guess what? I can tell right away with these alerts that she owes a lot of money and that she has an adverse client party. Okay, so these cannot be deleted because these are the global alerts that you create from the administrator portal. Next is the case wizard mandatory fields. Well, the case wizard, first of all, what that is when you are creating a case, let's see, these fields can be mandatory. For example, I want my staff to select the process and not leave it blank. Well, let's take a look. Under the application settings, I'm in the admin portal. Okay, I'm gonna scroll down. And, oh, right here. I'm like, where did it go? It's right here. Under case settings, click on case wizard required fields and then select. Well, the required field will be the process and the department, as well as maybe jurisdiction, or like, you can choose what are your mandatory fields and apply. I'm going to save my changes. Technically, there's nothing to save because I already applied. And let's refresh the screen. Let's try to create a case and look at the difference. Wait a minute, did I not? Oh, was I supposed to refresh the admin? Okay, sorry about that. Let me go back. So create a case. What am I doing wrong? All right, let me go back to the admin and make sure that I'm doing this right. Case wizard required fields. The department, the type of process should be, but it's not letting me save. I think there's probably a bug with this because I can't save. And let me see, I'm gonna pick a couple more. I'm not getting the green. Usually you get a green bar on top that says, the data has been saved. And I wonder what's going on. Okay, I'll report this, but let me test again. Yeah, for some reason. Oh, I know what's going on. Okay. See, for example, if I go to next, now I see it. It's a tab require fields. So anything that I selected, it's going to be here. I can't really save or create a case if I don't enter the information. So this is going to be my external case number, my case name, and the process. So it did work. I was just distracted. I apologize if I confused you. All right, let's continue. We're almost done. Please let me know if you have any questions. Next item on my list is how to create a report. I'll be brief because really I can't tell you in detail unless you tell me what report you're trying to create, but I'll give you the best tricks and shortcuts that I've learned so far. So number one is do not reinvent the wheel. We probably already have a report that you need. For example, I want a report for cases per week, or how about cases by process, cases by paralegal. Instead of creating one report from scratch, I can make a copy of that report. When you try to copy the report, you're not going to be able to edit the information, the criteria. Just save it first and then edit your report. For example, I want that cases by attorney or paralegal, but I want to be specific and just say I want active monthly adjustment of status cases by Vanessa only. Well, who's going to have access to the report? The attorney, the admin and manager, and of course, now I can modify my criteria. And the criteria is what you're looking for. The details. Well, I'm asking the system to be specific and search just for the caseworker equal to, and I picked the name of the attorney. I also want, so I picked, and I also want the case status to be just active cases. And I want the process to be equal to, and I picked the process. If you change this to in or not equal, or you can pick more than one by pressing the control key. So I want that adjustment of status, but I also want, what if they pick this one for an employee adjustment of status, or this one, or this one? So, I mean, you get the idea. Instead of saying equal to. Next, it says, and it has to be a case that was created this month. Below that, you can see the columns. Once I run the report, I would like to see the case creation date, the number, the client's name, and the expiration date. I also want to see the the case number. So I pick general, case general info, and case number, and then save it. Oh, before I forget, your columns, they have to have a sorting option. If you don't have at least one, let me remove, you're gonna get an error message. What am I doing? No, I picked the wrong. I meant to click here, test. See this error message? Search criteria is invalid because my criteria has to have a sorting option. So I'm gonna pick sort by creation date, or yeah, that's fine. Sort by creation date. Let's test. It looks like I have only 5 adjustment of status cases this month, and it shows all the columns that I picked. Oh, I already have the case number. I think what I meant maybe besides that, let me remove that and pick, like, where is this case? The department. Although most of them are going to be in California. But yeah, so you get the idea. You can customize the reports, and then you're going to schedule them. I know we're running out of time, but if you have to disconnect before you go, thank you so much for attending. We're recording the webinar, but if you can wait, I'll be more than happy so I can keep showing you these goodies. So my recommendation, if you have the reports module, is schedule them and schedule as many reports as needed. For example, on a weekly basis, I want to see a PDF or Excel to see all those cases per week, or show me a specific business client with their employee 797 that expired this month, etc. So you can create the report, schedule it, and share the report for as long as maybe, I don't know, 2 years, and select the recipients. It doesn't have to be a user. It could be your billing department or your accounting department, your board of directors, so they know how many cases or grants information, you name it. So you just schedule the report, enter the message and the subject, and again the recipients, and they'll get that report automatically on a weekly, daily, monthly basis, yearly basis. Okay. All right. Next, let me see. 3 more things that I need to show you before we go. Application settings, as you saw, has a lot of features or settings and options that you need to go through and decide, do I need this? Do I want to enable or delete? Please go through these, and if you have any questions, you can contact us, especially if you're new. For example, when creating a new case, let us help you with auto-generating the numbers. You know, on the right-hand side, you can see other options like, when my staff tries to upload, I don't want them to pick just from these options from their local computer network, Dropbox, or Google Drive. So you can customize the settings. Branding is where you can upload your logo, which has to be 300 by 70 pixels in GIF format only. And lastly, your referrals. Well, if you are especially like a nonprofit organization, or simply want to refer a client to a different entity, like, maybe we want to send them to a family law attorney, or a different immigration attorney. Well, what's the reason of your referral? Maybe there's domestic violence. You want to track the referrals and the reasons, and of course, what the status is for the referral. Is it accepted? Was it approved? I simply just refer them to that attorney. All right. Okay, we're done, but let me show you what options you have for resources and support. If you have any questions, you can contact us Monday to Friday from 8 to 5. That's our phone number, except on holidays, and we're going to be closed next Monday. Or you can send us an email That's the email address. Or you can also reach out through the home screen where it says technical support, as well as sending your feedback to developers. We do have a complete user's guide with tons of resources. We have these free live trainings on Fridays at 10 a.m., except on holidays. We have a podcast called Cerenade Snacks. We have a Facebook forum page. Again, I put the link so that you can please access and connect with us. Please make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel called Cerenade Academy. These are some of the did you know links where you can click and learn more. And again, you can download my PowerPoint presentation so that you can learn more, such as, did you know that we have e-fileable forms? All the USCIS forms, we have them, as well as the DS-160, the DS-260, the flat forms like the ETA 9089, etc. Let's continue. Some of the questions that you sent were, how to delete a trust account in a client profile. From the admin portal, go to your application settings and make sure that you click on billing to enable the option to delete the trust account. And then from the users, go to their access rights and enable that. I put the link here for more info about the trust account. How to make an invoice for a prospective client. So from your admin, first of all, click on processes, case processes, and create one matter called consultation so that you can create a case for billing a prospect. You cannot create an invoice if you don't have a case, that's why, or at least for now. Next question, is there an ability to merge client contact that have been duplicated under different variations of the client name? No, but we recommend that you copy paste elements from one profile to the other and label the one that you don't need with do not use. Also know that when attempting to create a new profile with the same name, the system does give you a warning before creating a duplicate profile. Lastly, beware of clients entering duplicate profiles using the relatives questionnaire. Double check before accepting these questionnaires. These are the upcoming trainings for the month of January and for February. Okay. And thank you so much for connecting with us. Like I said, please subscribe to the channel and we appreciate your time as always. I hope that you learned something new. Please, before you disconnect, let me know if your questions were addressed today. All right. It looks like I've got more than 56% of the vote, so I appreciate that. If you did not get a chance to ask your question or I wasn't able to get to it, please contact our technical support team. We're eager to assist you. All right. Thank you so much for attending today. And yes, you too have a great weekend. Actually, great long weekend. Enjoy the holiday. All right. Thank you, everyone, for attending today. Bye-bye. Oh, before I forget, someone asked me a question about the passwordless link, just so that if the person's still here, I hope so, but the question was if they can send questionnaires via email and not just available for text messaging. And the answer is yes. So when sending a questionnaire, if you say, for example, send it to a client and the client name is this, I'm going to search and click send into form with passwordless link. You're going to pick the preferred language. You're going to pick the process type, and you're going to select the questionnaire. If you don't see a questionnaire that you want, let me pick this one. You can choose no process and choose from all the questionnaires options. Like this one has been already sent, so there's no need for me to resend it. Like let's say this one. So here's the option for you to send the questionnaire via email. Just click on send email, but make sure that you copy the link and replace it here. You're not sending them to log in into the client portal. You're sending them this passwordless link. Okay. So you can just actually use the letter templates. I like to use, for example, one in Spanish, and I can just copy paste the link. But yeah, you can send via email, not just text message. Or again, as I mentioned, you can copy the link to the clipboard, open WhatsApp web, and paste it there. You may also select this option to send reminders to the client once a day, once every 3 days, or once a week, also via email, text message, or both, maybe for about 3 weeks until they respond or they submit their questionnaire. Or again, this will expire. Thank you for the question. I hope that this person's still here. If not, I'll just let them know. But yeah, thank you and have a great weekend, everyone. Stay safe.